However... Hi, welcome to another episode of the Notsteam Productions L&L podcast. I'm L. Grimshaw, joined by my loyal assistant.
You should get fucked, your assistant. We've had this discussion before. I'm nobody's sidekick.
I know, I didn't know what else to say. Minion? Is Minion
No,
better?
it's probably worse.
I mean, at least you're not yellow and you don't wear dungarees.
Yeah. There's some slight racial connotations to the first part of that. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Introduce yourself. Not that you really
Liam
need
Davies, hi guys, me as always. Sorry if I sound extra sexy this week, but I've had a bit of a cold.
Extra sexy.
So yeah, I'm going to try and sort of mute out any like spluttering or coughing or anything. So yeah, but yeah, other than that, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I've been a bit busy. I've been here, there, and everywhere. At the moment, so I haven't been playing massive amounts, but we've had obviously about a week away.
Yeah.
So I've brought all of my notes from stuff I've previously been playing. One thing that I do want to start off by saying is I recently played Far Cry 6, as you know, for PS5, and I also started playing Cyberpunk 2077.
Cool.
Now I thought it would be a good way to compare the two games, because they are both open world, they're both sort of first-person shooters, they've both got guns.
Yeah, I think that's where the comparisons end, really.
That is really where the
very
comparison
different
ends.
kind of games. Yeah.
I fully agree with what you said when you said that game never should have come out for PlayStation 4.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Like, even on PS5, it is still a bit of a glitchy mess.
Oh man, see,
Like,
I played it
I've
on
had
PS5 and it was okay.
To be fair, I've had no game-breaking bugs.
Yeah.
But I've had characters that I've shot through the head get up and start dancing. Or, like, I'll be walking down the street and then a car will just topple over.
Oh.
I was attacked by a ghost. Basically tried to cross the road in Night City and just kept getting ran over by nothing. Couldn't see anything. So I've had a few bugs with it, but they don't break the game, and fundamentally, still playable. And I would argue probably my favourite RPG that I've played for quite some time. Like, especially the sort of way that the game's all set up and, like the immersiveness of it. Like, it does really sort of pull you in.
I found myself, when I was playing it's I think it's the only game I've done it with on PS5, but, you can swap between 60 frames a second or 30 frames a second with ray tracing. Well, obviously, I'm not a sicko, so I play in 60 frames. I don't know how you can play in 30. I don't know how you can. But I'll find myself on like a rooftop somewhere with like a beautiful landscape in front of me, and I'll go into the menu, swap the settings over, and just sort of have a little look around at just how dense the city feels and how like alive it actually feels, and with the extra ray tracing on there, it's a stunning game. And I agree, it's one of the best, like especially new IP RPGs in a long time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, there's a few things that I would maybe not have done. Keanu Reeves is a major one.
He's for me the worst thing about that game. His performance is...
His character's just not likable.
No, not at all. That's not really my issue. It's his performance. Like, it's so wooden, and it's like you can tell he was just in a booth, just like saying words for weeks on end, and none of them really have any real like weight with them. I've been playing the PS5 version of Uncharted 4. Like I said, I've been playing it. I finished it.
Oh yeah.
And it's the PS5 upgrade. It's a better upgrade than I was expecting. Like, it looks fantastic. Again, you've got the 60 frames, They've brought in the adaptive triggers from the Last of Us remake, Part 1. So it's really crunchy and it feels really good shooter. And it's this thing he does with, because you get a grappling hook in that one, and you can like swing off certain points, and you can do that into an attack and like land on someone. That feels great with the DualSense. It's like a proper thud, like you're landing on someone, like it's like a little thud and a crunch. It's
like a heavy.
Really good. I just sort of like it's been a while since I've played the fourth one, and you kind of forget how good those games are. Like, obviously it's Naughty Dog. That's all they do is like pristine stuff these days, so it's not surprising. But man, the world they got, the characters that they have in that, and the writing and the performance it's like some of the best available in video games for me. And I think it's good length as well. I think it took me about 16 hours. I think it's good. It's good bite-sized chunks as well, because it's broken up into chapters, so you can play for an hour, do a chapter, and it's akin to like watching a TV show or a film for a bit.
That's one of the things that I do miss in terms of the way a lot of video games have gone now, is that episodic nature of like, you just do a mission. Like, I've got half an hour, 40 minutes, right, let's have a do this mission, scour, as much as you can before progressing, and doing it that way. Whereas now it's like,
everything's
playing
open world,
stuff like Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Everything's open world, and some missions can take you like a minute, some can take you up to like an hour, maybe longer, and it's difficult to break up your time playing video games, I find. So like going back to something like Uncharted, where it is sort of chapter and episodical in
it's linear, there are some open areas, like similar to like they did in the Last of Us.
It's like Last of Us though, isn't it?
Sort of, there's a section sort of ish towards the end, I'd say maybe the start of Act 3, where you're basically trying to climb this volcano, but it's like a huge landscape, and you're in a jeep and you're driving around, and there's different points that you can go to, and like it just looks so good as well. Like, some of the physics in that game are mental as well. Like, there's bits where you're sliding down slopes, and then when you get to the bottom you can turn around, and it'd be like shale rock, and you'll see it all like still coming down like where you were from, they're hitting into each other and bouncing off, and it just looks so really like, oh my god, like somebody spent months, if not years, coming up with the physics for these rocks sliding down this thing. You're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so it's so good.
Yeah, no, in terms of the Uncharted games, like there's that one set piece where it's like the train that's been derailed, and like there's parts where it's like hanging off a cliff, and you've like got to climb.
Yeah, Uncharted 2, I think.
So like, is it Uncharted 2?
I think so, yeah.
So some of the set pieces are absolutely stunning, and one of the consoles that Sony have done in the last sort of 10, 15 years that actually did really well didn't do really well, but PS Vita. The Uncharted game for that was actually really good. Like, it felt like a genuine sort of Uncharted experience. Yeah, it was kind of like PS2 era, but as a handheld, it was fucking great.
Yeah, so that's the only one I've not played. I never had a Vita because, Sony didn't back it, and never heard of it until it'd been out for like 2 years. I'm like, oh, this thing's dying on its ass. But yeah, because of like finishing Uncharted 4, like being on a bit of a Naughty Dog high, and of course we'll talk about in a minute, the Last of Us TV show finished. But yeah, it made me want to just carry on playing stuff like that, so I'm playing Last of Us Part 2 again, which that's one of my favourite games. It showed up on my home screen on the PS5, and it's carried across my save and everything from PS4, and I've got like 180 hours on that game.
That's quite impressive for something that is so linear.
I was just going to say, I'm like, I didn't think I'd played that much, but apparently I have, yeah. But yeah, I love that game.
Are you one of those that like pauses your game and like will just leave it on in the background for a while as well?
No. And I think I'm not sure if it would carry on the counter with that. It probably would, but no, I tend to.
I think
if
it
I'm
does.
walking away, I turn my TV off, and that puts my PS5 into sleep mode.
No, I just know because when I play, when I'm doing writing and stuff, sometimes I'll have like Elden Ring on in the background. So I have racked up about 568 hours on that game, and still not completed it. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's been out for a year, and you got it launched, didn't you?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, no, I got it about a month after. But yeah, no, I've been playing a little bit of Metroid Dread, which was recommended by yourself. Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I've never really played many of the Metroid games, so I don't really understand a lot of what is going on. But I do like it. It's quite fast paced. One of my big bugbears, and it's not really the game's fault, it's more how the way that the Switch is designed, and unfortunately the way my arms are. When you're like trying to run away from an enemy, and you've got to pull down and pull LZ or whatever it is, the left trigger, to like slide. I'm shit at doing that, so I'll go to do it, just run into a wall and then get killed by that annoying robot thing. But I am enjoying it. I like the sort of side-scrolly, sort of almost indie feel.
It's a good-looking game.
You know. Yeah, no, it is really good. And I like the sort of Dark Souls elements to it that they've included. Like, the almost... I don't know if it's maybe something from the other games, because again, I've never really played it. But with this, there's like a gothic element to it, with like the bird people. And
that's quite indicative of Metroid. Yeah,
some of the statues,
some of the enemies as well. That's quite Metroid. Yeah.
Oh, fair dues. Well, yeah, like I really like that, and it's in space, and I like space.
It's a good switch up, because usually with the Metroid games, the side-scrolling ones, the idea is you land on a planet and you're making your way through a facility trying to get to the core. But in this one, it's the opposite way around. You're already at the core, and you're trying to escape, basically. And yeah, I loved it. It's probably my second favourite Switch game, after Breath of the Wild, of course. Yeah, it's lovely. Have you played it on the OLED Switch?
No, not yet, but we will do at some point.
Yeah, I think you should check it out. The colours look great on that little screen.
Yeah, no, at the moment I've been playing it on... At the moment I'm only playing it on my Switch Lite. But other than that, I've... one game that I do want to quickly touch on, only because I went back to it recently after playing it quite a while ago, completed it. Outlast. So I was looking for something that would scare me a little bit, but I wanted something quick. I wanted like a little bit of a, like something I've already done, something that I was like, I can just quickly run through it. And I tried playing it. I remember when it first came out, I really enjoyed it. I thought, oh my god, this is great, cat and mouse sort of feel, like try not to get caught. But playing it this time, I don't like that style of gameplay as much anymore. The sort of like cat and mouse kind of thing, because
sorry, I don't know what Outlast is. If you can explain it to me.
So Outlast.
I've heard of it, but I don't know.
In the first one, you play as a sort of journalist who breaks into a insane asylum called Mount Pleasant, which is it's basically been taken over by the inmates under being possessed by this unseen force that's making them go all a bit insane. But by the sounds of it and looks of it, they were already pretty insane there.
It's an insane asylum. Yeah, that's a safe assumption.
Yeah, as you're like going through it, so basically you sneak in the night all these inmates have escaped, and then rather than just being like, okay, yeah, no, I'll come back, I'll leave. It's not that important. I'll leave you a voicemail. that kind of thing. No, you decide to go further, and then you get trapped inside with these inmates. And it was kind of cool at the first time because like you had sort of your normal first person view, and then you had a camera which you could use in night mode, so you could like record like down a hallway and see if there was anything coming towards you, because you'd be able to see their eyes. And don't get me wrong, like it's very good looking, it's very like eerie and like
atmospheric.
It's got a good scare factor. Yeah, atmospheric. Yeah, but gameplay wise, like, because one of the things that I noticed was I'd make loads of really good progress, and then the enemy would sort of walk within their radius at my spot, and I'd have to like make loads of backtracking to sort of not get caught, because if you get caught, they run at you, and if you're playing it on hard, they get you, you're dead.
Yeah.
And I just don't enjoy it as much as I used to, and I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Just
maybe your taste is improving.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, not me either.
I don't think it is.
Cool. Well, that's all I've been playing really. But watching, yeah. Let's get on The Last of Us.
Wow.
So you finished the series, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. What did you think?
I thought it was incredible. I thought it was good.
Yeah, me too.
I thought they've done a really, 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 really good job. I am slightly... I don't know if I want them to maybe just go straight into the second game. Or I don't know if maybe I want maybe a bit of a filler season. To maybe explore a few other characters, maybe explore...
Jackson.
Some other...
Jackson, yeah. See what life was like,
sort of like
in between the two games. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
And like maybe have a look at like, you know, places that we haven't yet looked at.
Yeah.
You know, because if they're looking at maybe, you know, doing it long term, because I assume Naughty Dog are working on a third game.
Well, the next one is going to be the multiplayer game set in the Last of Us universe. That's what they're working on at the moment. Because you remember the first game had multiplayer aspects.
Yeah, which it wasn't terrible.
It was really good. It was like a cult, like massive thing. It really took off. I really liked it.
I didn't play it that much.
But the second one was supposed to have a multiplayer element as well. But it grew. They said it got that big that it's become its own thing. So I'm quite looking forward to that. Because if it plays and it feels like The Last of Us and it looks like The Last of Us, but it's online, then I'm okay with that.
Would you not want more of a coherent story that maybe can't be sort of done online?
I don't know. I think there's room for, you know, multiplayer aspect, and the way that they sort of tied the story in with the first game, the multiplayer in the first game was like you're playing a survivor.
Yeah.
You know, you create your own character, so you're not playing as like characters from the game.
Yeah, I remember.
So
that.
I think they might take that and make it a bit deeper. So
so
you're sort of making your own story in a way. And that's cheesy as fuck, but you know what I mean. They might do it that way, and have like maybe just have story missions throughout it that you complete together. You know, it's like their versions of raids or dungeons or whatever. They haven't shown us anything from it yet. They've barely said anything, so we don't really know. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
I mean, I did play it a little bit. It was one of those I didn't have like anyone to play it with at the time, so I had a few games online because it was a bit of a nightmare to sort of get into and fully sort of like, right, what the hell am I doing? Because with a lot of like online multiplayer games, sometimes you need that like reason to keep playing it to get good.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have that at the time.
The reason I liked it was because it controlled exactly like the single player game did. You could find crafting ingredients around the map and craft weapons and bombs or what have you. And it's like one shot headshot kills as well. It's like kept that realism and carried it across, which what I quite liked about it. And they'll do that with the new one because that's they've got this sort of legacy now that we've got part 1, part 2. I don't know whether they'll just call this The Last of Us Online or The Last of All of Us. I don't know. God knows.
The Last of Them. But we're getting off topic.
TV show.
We were meant to be talking about the TV show. The TV show, which was absolutely great. I think the last one we talked about on air was I think about 3 episodes.
Yeah, possibly. We'd not had David last time we spoke.
No.
Which that was a really good episode. I thought the guy that played David was brilliant. I thought great casting for that.
Oh, he was horrible.
Brilliant in a bad way, or horrible in a good way. And did you see who his friend was? Yeah,
Troy Baker.
Yeah, making a funnily getting killed by Ellie. Like spent years playing a guy who protects Ellie, and then in the TV show she kills him. You're like, yeah, it's kind of poetic, I guess.
When she does it, I sort of like shouted. I was like, Joel! And Jay just looked at me like, that's not Joel. And I was like, yeah, I know, but he is. And then Ashley Johnson as well.
Yeah, playing her mum. It was a nice twist, nice little touch. And I read a little bit about that scene because apparently Neil Druckmann he's had that scene worked out for years. Like he was going to release I'm not sure if it was going to be like an animated short or something, just showing that scene basically, how Ellie was born and how her mum was bit and then cuts the umbilical and all that stuff. So he's had it worked out in his head for years on how Ellie is immune. But yeah, we had to wait for the TV show to find out how, which is kind of cool because it's like, well, that's something that we didn't know in the games that we do now.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it did make sense.
Yeah.
Like the moment it happened, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
But like, obviously, she's like saying like, no, it was before.
Yeah.
I
cut it.
It was like,
I cut it before I was bit. Yeah.
Oh. But the way that the last episode played out was absolutely great.
I'm glad that they didn't change a thing.
Like
they didn't change much. Like they, kept it all the same. And I thought the actual the way they put it all together, when Joel was going through the hospital and wiping everyone out, how he was just like expressionless, and there was like sort of ominous music playing, and it was just going from shot to shot, and he was just murdering.
Like somebody else was controlling him.
Yeah. And I thought it was great, and it shouldn't make me laugh, but when he goes in and the surgeon's like, I won't let you take her, bang. It's like, just straight up bang. Doesn't even look at him, just gone.
Yeah. Like, it was, because obviously when you play it, you're looking at Joel's back.
Yeah.
Whereas this, we saw different angles of, like, his face. We saw, the sort of cold nature. And I think, the beginning of this, we were talking, like, when we first started talking about Last of Us, when it first came out, we were talking about, like, the difference between a video game and the TV show. And you said, like, how violence on TV is a lot more traumatic because it's a lot more visual. Whereas in, like, video games, it's got to feel, when it feels good, like, it can make you go, ooh, yeah, no, like, that's a bit much. But you kind of get used to it because you end up doing it that many times that you just kind of like...
It's desensitization,
ripped. Yeah. But watching that scene, like, did make me feel very nervous, like, sort of watching it, more than I remember when I played it.
Yeah, same. When I played it, they were just another group of enemies that I was going to kill. And at the start of that mission is when you get the assault rifle. So you're like...
Which really annoyed me.
Yeah, they do it in the second one as well, with the little submachine gun thing. But you can do New Game Plus and start with it, which is fun. And it, like...
But it's just annoying that it's like the only time you get to use it, and it's like right at the feckin' end. But yeah, no, it was absolutely great. I am excited for more to come.
Me too.
I do kind of want a bit of a filler season, just to sort of not over rush it and like.
Well, they've already said that the second game would be at least 2 series, or 2 seasons of TV to do the second game, because it's. The way that they tell the story in the second game suits 2 series, 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they did like a season that's set in, because there's 5 years between the 2 games. If they do one, 2 or 3 years after the first series ends, that wouldn't surprise me. Because there's the whole bit in the second game where Ellie goes back to the hospital and finds out what happened. Like maybe they could look at that, deal with that in that series, maybe.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because that's like a huge bit in the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the second one. So I forgot about that. I think there is a lot of potential, and they could as well, with it being a TV show, and they could try and introduce maybe characters.
Yeah.
For the TV show,
could
make it their own, like. Let's maybe see a bit more about the Fireflies and like what they're trying to do to sort of survive and stuff, and because a second game you don't really hear that much from Fireflies, if I remember.
No, there's a couple of the like survivors from that group that do what they do to Joel at the start. Some of them were ex Fireflies, but yeah, there's a girl that you kill in it as Ellie, and she's like, oh, there's no Fireflies left. She's like, But then there's the whole thing at the end of the game that they might be on Santa Barbara Island. Or on that island just off the coast of Santa Barbara. I'd like that. Maybe not even the Fireflies, maybe a new faction.
The Infected.
Yeah.
I saw a meme that I loved, and to be fair, having watched all of Last of Us, it did sort of ring true. Was I really couldn't get into The Last of Us because I didn't find it realistic enough. My head wasn't getting ripped off every 5 seconds, and it just all the way through watching it, I was like, because there would be like certain bits that you'd do in the sort of video in the game. And I'd be like, I remember dying loads here.
Yeah.
Because that clicker there rips my head off every time. Rips my throat out, just pulls my nose off.
Yeah, I'm like John Wick on those games now. Nobody gets near me anymore.
Just
oh, yeah.
To be fair, I do want to get back on it. I've got the PS4 version on my PS5, so I might have a go on it.
What, the first one?
Because... the first one. And I've got part 2.
Yeah, well, part 2 is a free PS5 upgrade. It's just an update.
Well, remember it, because when it came out, it was, like, at the time, better than what
basically
PS4
yeah.
was.
Well, that's it. It's like, the thing, the icon, it's still PS4. There's technically no PS5 version of The Last of Us Part 2. But there's an update so that you can get, like, 60 frames and stuff like that. So yeah, it's still pretty good. But there's no adaptive trigger stuff, which is disappointing. Because there is on part 1, not on part 2. I don't know if they can retroactively add that in. Maybe it's too big a job. I don't know.
Maybe in a patch. Yeah. Moving on to 2 movies that I've watched recently. Luther Fallen Son.
Oh.
Which is based on the TV show of Luther. Yeah, I already remember you're not a fan, and you'll be glad to know I don't recommend the movie. To be honest, looking back at the TV show, I only liked the first 3 seasons, I think it was, because they were just more sort of the gritty murder whodunit, set in London, not the West Country for some reason. And I like it. You know, the first 3 seasons, it was dark, it was moody, and everything like that. But it's just gotten so ridiculous now. Like, the last 2 seasons were shoddy and just ill-paced. Yeah. And then this movie that... Oh, this movie, man. It angers me.
I don't think he's a brilliant actor.
Well, you're going to love my next movie that I've watched as well, because he's also in it. 1,000 Years of Longing.
What is that?
So it's kind of... I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if it is one I would recommend, because it's just a bit weird. But it's Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. Idris Elba plays like this genie, and magical lamp sort of scenario. Okay. Tilda Swinton rubs the lamp, she gets 3 wishes. But it's very much one of those where it's a film that tells multiple stories. So it's like the genie explaining all about the consequences of wishes and stuff through these previous lives that he's had and stuff like that. It's not a great movie. It's not a well crafted. Visually, it's stunning. It is very nice visually. There's lots of colour, lots of very vibrant scenes, lots of good choreography, some really, really good visuals as well, and some interesting storytelling techniques. Like, there is a good film in there somewhere, and there's just something that doesn't bring it all together.
Idris Elba.
But he was also...
Yeah, it's probably his fault.
I suspect maybe you're right. Although he was good in The Wire.
Yeah, he was. That. Yeah, he was alright. Yeah. Not as good.
I don't mind
Not as good
it.
as Lance Reddick, who sadly passed away recently.
Yes, unfortunately, yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
Which is... Just talking on Lance Reddick, I was going to actually mention that, but I forgot to add it to my notes. He had quite a prolific sort of comic book, video game, nerd culture career. Like, he was in all sorts of stuff that you just would never have realised until sort of, like, from video games to animes to...
He's got a great voice, hasn't he? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him in all sorts, Like, he's in Fringe.
No,
he's like the,
I know
he's like the FBI chief in that. He's good in that. Yeah, of course.
He was the best thing in Resident Evil TV series.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Although the bar's pretty low. Yeah, that's a shame. And yeah, he did lots of video games as well.
Yeah, well, he did Horizon. Yeah. He did Quantum Break. Yeah, he's done.
I had a look at a list of them the other day. I can't remember what was on there now.
I'm sure he's been in. Yeah, he's been in tons. The man's a legend, and obviously most recently John Wick as well.
Yeah, he's the concierge in John Wick.
Yeah, which I'm excited for John Wick 4.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good.
It's going to be the last one.
It's supposed to be really good.
I kind of... We're not going to talk about John Wick. We'll talk about it when we've watched it. Moving on to my final thing that I've watched.
Wow.
And this is so off topic.
This is the longest intro we've ever done.
No, it's not. Dream Heist Takeover Instant Dream Home, the Heist Edition. So Jay wanted to watch some like home decorating shows, and she put this one on, and I kind of liked it because it was all set up like a heist, and like they basically kidnapped the people, took them away off location, and then brought in loads of people to like redecorate the homes, and then when they came back, it was like they'd have all disappeared. So it was like somebody's broke into my house and redecorated for me. And that is a mental concept. And the only other reason why I put this in was so that we could go on to the next topic, which is, since we've cleared our house of nasty bastards, we now need to redecorate. Who we hiring?
Yep.
Segue.
Nice segue there. That was the most natural thing ever.
Your face when I mentioned decorated show, you were like, where's he going with this?
Okay. So mine, I don't know how you went about this, but I just thought of any video game that has like painting or like any sort of decorating or like art or something. And the one that came to mind, weirdly, was Mark Echo's Getting Up. I don't know if you're familiar with this game. No. So you know who Mark Echo is? Like there's a clothing brand. No. Like I think it's just called Echo, the clothing brand.
Oh yeah. Skateboarding.
Yeah, it's that type of stuff. Yeah, like urban stuff. And there was a game released in 2006 called Mark Echo's Getting Up, where basically you play as this guy who has the best name ever, by the way. I'm going to note to this. His name's Coltrane Cowley. Brilliant name.
Cowboy?
No, he's a graffiti artist. So probably the exact opposite of a cowboy. And yeah, basically it's like linear levels that you explore and you beat people up. Like there was like quite a good... because you're fighting other graffiti artists, like general criminals that are trying to rob you, and like security guards and cops and stuff. Like the point of the game is that you explore these levels, and there's like certain places that you can tag, and there's like really cool detailed graffiti that your character can do, and sometimes it'd be off the side of like a train, or it'd be above like a train tunnel, so you have to climb up, and like, there's like little platforming elements to it.
You're going for the more like urban sort of redecorative.
Yeah, I thought why not get a bit of a like uniqueness? Is that a word? Get some of that stuff in. And
this does sound like a weird game.
It is, though. But it gets weirder, right?
For a clothing brand.
Listen to this, right? So this is a short list of the cast, right? So you got the main guy, who's voiced by some guy that's never done any other voice work. Jason, he's done nothing, so I won't mention him. The chief of police, voiced by Adam West. A guy called Dip, who's like a gangster, was voiced by Sean Combs, who's Puff Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Pretty big name. Character called Tina was Rosario Dawson. Like Brittany Murphy was in it. What's his Dick? What's his name? Something Dick. Andy Dick. You remember Andy Dick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's a weird guy.
I just think it's a really weird cast. Proper weird. Like why does a clothing designer come up with a game for, based on a graffiti artist, blah blah blah? But it all really worked really well, and yeah, it was a good game. And yeah, I'm going for old Coltrane Cowley. He goes by Train, which I don't know why you would go by
Train.
If your name's Coltrane, I'm going by Coltrane. 100%.
Yeah. Or Colt.
Yeah, Colt's cooler than Train. Yeah, so that's mine. Oh, by the way, it got rave reviews as well. It's got like 8s and 9s all over the place.
I'll have to check it out. Like, I've never heard this game before.
You must be able to play it on some modern console somehow.
More than likely. Well, mine, I've gone for smart because what I've decided to do is I'm going to get Aperture Science to redecorate my home.
That's not smart. Aperture Science is evil. Oh, no.
Yeah, but functional. So I'll be able to, like, slide down the stairs and, like, bounce. Like,
you won't be able to do what you want to do.
I'll be able to have portals and shit. I'll have portals and shit.
They're just going to try and kill you. There's going to be an evil AI. You're going to wake up and it's going to be like, good morning. Try and escape. Beep, 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 beep. And then, yeah, you...
And I've got to do puzzles to get out of the house. Yeah, but then I'd have a great excuse for being late. Like, you know, I can say, but people are like, oh, why are you late? And I'll be like, well, I had an AI trying to fucking kill me this morning. Wouldn't you be late?
I think you can only use that excuse once.
It's a win-win.
That excuse runs out. That's a one-use excuse.
Not if he lives with me.
Why do you live with a psychotic
I think it's a brilliant idea. I think Aperture Science deserves more credit for their scientific accomplishments and decorative, because those offices look swanky.
Do they? They're kind of...
Yeah.
Like, just bare and... like it was designed by a robot, almost.
No. In the second one...
Oh, it's been so long since I played the second one, I don't know.
So, in the second one, you go actually into the old offices and, like, where everything is. And they're kind of nice. They're, like, 1950s,
right,
60s, sort of retro. And, you know, I'd have... what's his face? J.K. Simmons. Just talking down my ear.
Trying to kill you.
Waking me up in the morning.
Trying to kill you.
Trying to kill me, yeah. But that's fine. That's fine. But as long as it gets me out of bed and out the door, happy.
Great.
Aperture Science.
Cool. Well, I know which one I'd rather have.
So do I. Mine, because it's better. Right, so, moving on to our next topic. Top 5 finishing moves. Executions or takeouts. You know, video games, we like when, you know, you can just take somebody out with one solid hit.
Yep.
And, like, you know, like, when it's a good, fluid motion, it's so satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
So very satisfying. And I'm going to kick it off, only because I'm scared you might talk about it before I do. But I've put The Last of Us Brick Meat Face.
That is a good one. I haven't got that on my list. I've got something else from The Last of Us, but that is a really, really good one. And it's technically not one hit, it's like 3. But, yes.
Yeah, but...
Absolutely, yeah. 100%. And it's so good, because you can do it on anyone. Excuse me, you can do it on anyone, and that's so satisfying. That I remember, that doesn't get old. You know, they say you get used to something. That you don't get used to that. Smashing someone's head in with a brick. That's it's great. It's even better on the second.
I don't think you're meant to get used to it.
No,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I just love that mechanic of just being able to smash and then bang, and then it's like run on to the next guy, pick up a bottle, and it's not as satisfying with the bottles. Particularly, it has to be a brick.
Yeah, with the bottles, it's only one hit and it smashes, so it just stuns them.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. Yeah. You're just a bit like, you just smash it over their head and they just look at you and then shoot you. And you're just like...
Or bite your face off.
Or bite your face off. But that's my first
that's a good shout.
Pick.
So my number 5, I've gone for the Ghost of Tsushima. Is it called the Face Off? Where you can like stand in front of an encampment.
Yeah.
You ready your blade.
Oh, I didn't mention it.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that mechanic where you could take on I think when you upgrade, you could take on like 3 or 4, or maybe even 5 guys in a row with that thing. Like,
yeah, with your armor fully upgraded, I think it's up to 6.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and no other game really does a mechanic like that. Where it's literally like, come and get me, and then as long as you do it right, you're wiping out half of the guys at this base easily.
And that's it, like, and you just feel so badass. Like, when you do a successful run and, like, you end up then just walking and... Because it has the fear mechanic where, like, you know, if you do something that's almost unnatural, like, you know, cut down 6 armed men with, like nothing, that's going to probably cause a little bit of, like, I'm going to leave. I don't want your paycheck. And, you know, that's one of the satisfying things about that, is that when you then walk towards another enemy that's just witnessed that, they'll back away and they'll be like, whoa, no, like, I ain't.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, they can run away, and then I usually just shoot them.
Yeah, that's...
I like it.
I might have to go back to that game. Try it on PS5. I don't know if it's... Is there a
I
PS5
want to
upgrade?
play it on PS5.
Yeah.
Yes, the free PS5.
Cool, yeah, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, that's my first one. What's your next?
My next one is fifth-year serial killer, Shrink and Stomp.
Okay, don't know what any of those words mean.
Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy, the ancient magic.
Oh, right.
So, you know,
the Shrink and Stomp. Yeah, on spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
That is a good one.
Especially because they're big, horrible, and they're like huge and stuff. And I don't like setting fire to them because they scream. So my preferred method is to shrink them down and just stomp on them.
I like to burn them. I like to hear their screams.
That's horrible.
The spiders, they're horrible.
It's horrible. That is true. They didn't choose to be spiders, in which your character even says that. He's like, it's not my fault, you horrible 8-legged freak.
Yeah. I'm like, well, no, he's right.
It's not their fault either.
Yeah. They attacked.
They did attack. But yeah, that's my next one.
My next one, I've gone for the flail. I don't know if you call it the flail, from Watch Dogs 2. So, big guy's got like the ball on the end of a bit of string, and yeah, you do like takedowns on people, and you like swinging it around and like whacks them a few times. And they've done quite a lot of different animations for it, so there's like some really cool ways that he uses it. And yeah, I think it's quite a unique weapon, especially in like a modern setting. Yeah, I think it's quite cool because it's something that you can like. He literally just hangs it off his bag because it doesn't look like a weapon really. It's like it could be anything. Yeah,
it's just like a bag charm. Yeah, no, it is really cool, and it's quite satisfying, like to do it as well. Because one of the things you've got to do is you've got to be quite close to him, so it's not like you can there's like two ways you can like be right up and close to him, and you'll like sort of like spin it up and like bring it up into the chin and knock him out that sometimes. Way, or you just like clobber him over the head. And yeah, I do like Watch Dogs 2. I think it's the better one.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think Watch Dogs 1 was pretty shit.
Good concept.
Watch Dogs 2 was pretty good concept, yeah. Just poorly executed. Watch Dogs 2 was great.
Yeah, really like opinion, Watch Dogs 2. Yeah.
The third one was a bit over ambitious.
Still not really played it. I've played about 45 minutes. I've done the opening to it, and that's it really. I am going to go back to that at some point. But yeah,
I do same. But from when I played it, it wasn't my. It's not been my favourite.
So what's your next one?
My next one, Agent 47, multi-kill from Absolution.
Multi-kill.
So, yeah. So I can't remember what it's actually called. I think it's called like Use Your Instinct or Instinct or something. Basically, if you walk into a room and there's like 5 security guards sort of scattered around this room and nobody else, you can do this like sort of single motion, or like basically you tap your trigger, you highlight who you wanted to kill, and then he would like pull off this like seamless execution of like shooting each of the characters. But like you would see all the visuals that he'd do. So if there was like say 2 guys stood at opposite ends of the room, he'd like pull both pistols out and shoot them, and then like shoot one, and it was really well done.
Yeah.
It is something that I kind of miss in the newer ones.
Yeah.
Like that sort of feature to be able to do something so cinematic and elegant. But at the same time, I do understand why they haven't put it.
It's badass as well, isn't it?
That's my next one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is badass.
My next one is the Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade. I think the importance of it, like the different ways you can use it. Like even if you just talk about the first game, like you could equip that as your main weapon, and you can't block, but you can parry, and it has a whole different set of animations for killing people with it. It's just the way that you could walk up behind someone, stab them, assassinate them without causing a fuss, and just walk off, and then a few seconds later they drop, and it causes a distraction. Like just it's so simple, but and just the iconography of it as well. It's just so cool, like having a hidden blade like, coming out of your wrist. Like
it's a cool concept, and like when he obviously because he's missing his ring finger as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is so cool. Like, I do remember loving the first one, like because at the time it was.
Well, it was the first.
It was impressive.
It was the first sort of Ubisoft game that we now look at Ubisoft as. You know, they have like a template for their games. That was the first one. That's something that they got totally right. Love the Hidden Blade. Just jumping off something and landing on someone and using that like a death from above type assassination. That's so satisfying.
Well, speaking of satisfying, and this is kind of cheating a little bit, I'm not going to lie, because this doesn't necessarily happen in any one game, but the classic yeet. Just finding a cliff and just, if you can, in any video game, just booting them off it. Yeah. There's just nothing more satisfying. Like, you look at Skyrim, being able to Fusradar a troll off the side of a cliff, and not knowing fully whether or not they died, but they're no longer your problem.
Yeah, one of my favourite things to do on Jedi Fallen Order is to knock people off the edge, use a force push and just send them flying, and they just scream as they fall to their death. Like, bye-bye. That's always fun. Yeah, it's a good shout.
So satisfying.
In fact, I did it in Uncharted 4 recently. Like, you sneak up behind someone, you press the assassinate button, and instead of him grabbing them as he usually does, he just boots him off. And you're like, that's good.
I know you don't like it, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey, one of the perks that
early
you can
on,
get,
it's one of the. I think it's the first move you get, the kick.
It's like Spartan kick, and it's really satisfying. Like being able to just
for me,
kick,
it's just
an angry Greekman off a cliff.
For me, it was just a bit over the top because the first time I used it on a person like on the edge of a cliff, he went absolutely flying. Like he didn't just fall off the cliff. Like he was launched, and I'm like, it's a bit silly. Like, I just
kind of wanted her to scream every time she kicked anybody with that thing. God, this is Sparta.
That's why it's in there, isn't it? That's why it's called the Spartan kick.
So go on, what's your next one?
My next one is from the Warriors. Have you ever played the Warriors back in the day?
Oh, the Rockstar video.
Yeah. I only remember it as the square jump because I think as you were sprinting, you press square, and so your character jumps, but they turn their body horizontal. So if you can imagine, so like arms at one side, legs at the other, and they do it at full pelt. So you could take out like 4, 5, 6 enemies if they're all bunched together. And I remember it was co-op, and it was quite a good co-op game. And if one of you were getting mobbed, the other one would just sprint over, do the square jump, like go sideways in the air, and just wipe out a big group of enemies. It's so fun. Such a good game as well.
That doesn't seem like a practical way of attacking.
Oh, it's not. It just
hurling
it's
yourself.
Absolutely not. But it's so fun to watch and to pull off. And like I say, like you like you knock over anyone that it contacts with, and they send them down like bowling pins. It's so fun.
That does sound. Well, my next one, which I was surprised that you haven't mentioned actually, is the drop attack. So when you're playing Batman, and you drop down from a gargoyle.
Oh, have I not?
And
I'm glad you've said it. Yeah.
The thing is, what I love to do when I've strung them all up, my trins, cut the ropes.
That's what I do.
And I am 90% sure that majority of those people die from broken necks.
Would do, yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's like on Spider-Man when you can like kick somebody off the side of a building, and like you look down and somehow there's like they've been webbed.
I've watched it happen. So it's like he sticks a little like web grenade to them if he knocks them off the building, and then as they're falling off the building, it goes off and connects them to the wall, which I thought was a cool way for them to allow you to throw people off buildings, because it's quite fun in Spider-Man as well, actually, to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, as if I didn't say Batman. No, so my last one.
Yeah, the drop attack.
Yeah, it's brilliant. My last one is it's The Last of Us again, but it's the final enemy. They introduced it in the second game, but I think they retroactively put it into the remake of the first one. So if you're in a skirmish or whatever, the final enemy, if you don't just kill them outright, say if you shoot them in the knee, they'll drop to their knees and they'll just stay there and they'll beg for their life, basically. And you can go over to them, and sometimes when they're talking to you, if you aim your gun at them, like your character will be like, "Shut the fuck up," and it's like really tense. And then you've just got an enemy there that you have to kill, and it's up to you how you do it. And it can be really fun. You can say if you've got a melee weapon, you can use that and just fucking smash their head in, or if you've got Ellie's knife, she'll just stab them a good few times. Or if it's Abby and she's got nothing equipped, she'll just beat them to death or break their neck or something.
Oh yeah, I do remember doing that a few times.
And sometimes as well,
you could get information out of them.
Well, not really. No, because it's a linear thing, isn't it? So, but yeah, I blow the head off as well sometimes with a shotgun, with the particle effects and stuff that they have on Last of Us Part 2 is just insane.
What I'm hearing is you need to see.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I've not executed anybody in real life.
Yet. No, to be fair, like, one of the things I love about Last of Us is its brutality.
Yeah.
Like the melee weapons, a lot of them feel great. One thing that did wind me up a little bit about it was how they break so easily. And I know you can repair them and stuff, but like some of the weapons, like the like an axe, or say machete or something. Like, you get, 3 hits out of it. And it's like, nah. Like, I've got a knife, little pocket knife, that has been in thousands of skulls.
Yeah.
And this axe can only hit somebody 3 times before breaking.
I get why they do it. But yeah, that does get a little bit annoying.
I would have just preferred, it to be like a gun. And you just select what your melee weapon is.
Yeah.
And just have it that way.
Yeah, it might makes it a bit too easy. If you've always got a melee weapon. I don't know. It'd be realistic, though. If you had a crowbar's not breaking anytime soon. There's no skull that's breaking a crowbar.
Yeah. What are these people's skulls made out of?
But yeah, no, I take your point on that. But I do like that Abby is just a meathead. She's going around snapping necks and stuff. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Punch in the face. I do really like the dream casting for Abby being Florence Pugh.
She
would
play the fantastically, role. Yeah, and she's a class actor as well.
Yeah, she's great in Midsommar.
Oh, I've still not seen that, but yeah, I've been told she's good in that.
I don't think it's your bag.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Because it's horror. Yeah. But it's not horror. It's very much like your classic 80s, 70s sort of New World Order kind of style horror where everybody's in a cult and out to murder one another kind of thing. So it's not horror. Yeah. It's not like ghosts or anything. It's just people be weird.
Yeah, I might give it a shout because I do like Florence Pugh. So,
yeah. Brilliant cinematography. Have you seen Hereditary?
Yes.
If you liked that, especially because of its cinematography and everything like that, then more than likely you'll like.
I liked the first 2/3 of Hereditary.
Then it gets weird.
And just ends shit. Not a film.
But that's it on finishing moves.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we don't have a finishing move to finish this segment.
Nice.
Yeah, no. But anyway, moving on. So, our next topic, our scenario. 2 tribes go to war. Liam, I don't know why we're travelling across the world, but we're taking separate planes.
Okay.
We're travelling with our nearest and dearest, and our planes are going to go down on opposite islands.
Okay.
But, so, we've got to survive 100 days on this island with our characters.
5 each, yeah?
Yeah. 5 each. Who's your nearest and dearest? Who was on the plane with you when you crashed?
We just putting it out there saying that there's no duplicate characters?
Yeah, no duplicates. If you've put the character, then I'll have to think of something on the spot.
Well, I came up with some alternatives because I'm smart. But yeah, I think first, if I'm going to go first one I'm going to go for is Lara Croft. Because of obvious reasons, she's an adventurer and explorer. She's got survival skills. I'm pretty sure in the reboot, does she not make her own bow at the start of one of the games?
Yeah.
So she can make a bow. She can hunt. Build a fire.
She makes a machete out of part.
Oh
of the plane.
yeah, she does. Yeah. So she's handy. Very handy. And
she is very handy. It would have been good to have her.
She's fucking brutal as well. In those games, the reboot, she's a savage. So yeah, I think, yeah.
I do kind of like them games. I think they're
alright. Yeah.
Well, seeing as you've fucking stolen Lara Croft, I'll go with Aloy from Horizon. Only because she's the only other person that I know that's really good with a bow and hunting. So
yeah,
got that covered.
Fair. My next one, I'm going to go a little bit outside of the box. In fact, no, I'm going to save that because there's no way you'll have that. I'll go for one that you might already have. I'm going to go with Arthur Morgan.
Okay.
From Red Dead 2. Again, same reasons. He can tough it out in the wild. He knows how to hunt, how to trek, how to make a fire, which would be helpful. Yeah. Again, I'm going for pure survival here.
Okay. So I'm liking your chances so far. You've got 2 great survivalists with you.
I have.
So I'm gonna give you one of my survivalists. I'm gonna go with Solid Snake.
Okay. Yeah. Not bad.
So I'm going with Solid Snake because, the man will literally eat anything. And if he can survive it, then chances are we'll be alright as well. So I'll just use him as my guinea pig. Just make him eat everything. Although I did think about putting in the female character in Phantom Pain.
Which one?
Is she called Quiet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The ridiculous, always naked one. Yeah. Not because she's always naked, but because she doesn't need food.
Yeah.
So, actually, I'm swapping it up. I'm taking Quiet because she doesn't need food.
Okay.
And she's a great survivalist. So, yeah.
Fair. And if I remember right, there's a cutscene where she kills a bunch of dudes with their hands tied behind her back. Which...
resourceful.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, fair dues. My next one, then. What have I got so far? I've got Lara Croft and Arthur Morgan. We're going to add Sindri to the mix. That's Sindri from God of War. One of the dwarf brothers that
dwarves.
Make all your cool shit for you.
The one that's obsessed with cleanliness.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, not the blue one. The other one.
Yeah, no, not the blue one. Yeah, the other one. Not because I've got anything against blue people. I'm not bluist or anything. I quite like blue. I'm wearing blue now. Just because I think they can magic shit up basically. Like they literally hit stuff with a hammer, and it makes it into something else. You're like, that'd be pretty handy.
That is a very good point, because something that I forgot to mention is that as we crashed, we lost all our shit. So, any of these characters, as long as they have if they have innate abilities, then they can still use them. But any sort of like gadgets, gizmos that they might have, lost to the ocean. Yep. So, yeah. Signy can magic shit up. To be fair, that's kind of cheating though as well, because Signy could just summon a door
Sindri
and take you off the island. Sindri could just take you off the island at any point.
But the objective is to survive on the island for 100 days.
Yeah, but how do I know on my island that you're not just going to a Premier Inn every night?
Don't give a shit. That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, Robin Sindri is my third one.
All right. So okay, my third is Aang from The Last Airbender.
Okay. Right.
Can control fire, control water, can control air, control plant, earth, although grass, plants and stuff. He's fucking solid. He can build us a house, he can keep us safe, he can actually take us home if we wanted, to be fair. He could just sort of like do a Moses and part the seas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I suppose we could just go on. To be fair, we probably could just escape the island quite easily with some of the people we've picked so far.
Yeah, although if we are staying on the island, my next one will be a big help. I'm taking Wolverine. Because I figure if we're going to get hungry, we can just slice bits off him. If we need to, we can eat Wolverine. He's just going to grow it back. If nothing else, he's a walking food source.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how on board is Wolverine with this, that he's just offering himself out like sashimi?
We just happened to be together when we were on the plane. He doesn't know that that's his purpose. But again, I think he can survive starvation as well. So, and he's a good hunter. He's got, blades that come out of his hands. He can help get any food. We'll say that to him. We'll say, look, either you go and get the food, or you're the food. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Is he known? Is he known for taking instruction?
Well, I don't know.
or a threat. Like, go get the food or you will
But
be
he's
free.
innately a hero. He's a good guy. He will want to, save us. And if that means slicing off a thigh, then,
This is
it is pretty grim. But it's a survival situation, man. It is grim.
It is a survival situation. My next one is Gaara.
Gaara.
Who is a Naruto character.
All right.
Who can control sand.
Okay.
Build us a house.
You've already got Aang.
Build us a sandcastle. Yeah, I know, but I wanted two of them. I wanted to trump you. Like, I'll be building a metropolis on my island out of like sandstone, whatever. I'll just have Aang and Gaara just doing their thing, building like a huge city. We'll have like trains, we'll have everything. And then when they come to rescue us, we'll be like, it's fine, we're sound.
Yeah.
Go and sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Leave us.
Not too bad. Yeah, yeah, okay. I still, is it as good as people taking it in turns biting a chunk out of Wolverine? I don't know. It is. I don't think it is. But to finish off my my excellent survival team, fifth and final member is the obvious choice in this category. It's Minecraft Steve. He can make literally anything out of anything.
He just run up to a tree and punch it.
And then we've got wood. We've got firewood. And
yeah, you've got
he's
firewood.
He's going to build stuff for us. Our own little metropolis. You can build anything in Minecraft.
So effectively, we're going to be like, fuck off. We don't need saving. We're just going to live our lives out on this desert island. Yeah. And we could connect the two islands. We could get Gaara and Aang to build like a pathway, and we could like have this huge island.
Yeah, we can have a big celebration.
This sounds great.
We all have Wolverine sandwiches.
Pulled Wolverine.
Oh God, that'd be amazing.
Oh, that's grim. That's too grim.
Did I take it too far?
No. But horrendous. And then my last one, Geralt.
Oh, he was one of my backups. Yeah, he's a good shout.
Like, or Siri.
No,
Geralt. I'll stick with Geralt.
He's good company.
Yeah. Good company, got some stories, and if there's any, like, nasties on this island, Geralt, go and... Oh, he won't have his swords, though.
No, he won't.
Here's a sharp stick.
I suppose if we are going to connect the islands, like, between Minecraft Steve and Sindri, they could make him some...
They could, yeah. But there is an element of competition here, because there is a chest...
Oh.
That has come off the airplane when we've crashed.
Right.
Now, out of our two prospective teams, who's going to get this chest?
Oh.
Who you sending to go and get this chest whilst keeping some people to defend your base? Because I might come and steal all your shit.
Wow.
Kick your trees down.
Let's see. Who've I got? Right, I've got... So... To send out, I'll send out Lara Croft, Arthur Morgan, and Wolverine. That's
in case they get hungry.
Yeah, just they need a snack along the way. And yeah, leave Sindri and Minecraft Steve at the base. They can they can build the base back up quicker than you can destroy it.
Have a conversation. Well, I'm sending out Aang and Aloy, and I'm leaving the rest.
Okay. And what's in the chest?
I want Geralt there. Shall we find out? Who's getting to it first, though? All right, let's just open it up.
This is great podcasting.
Yeah. Mystery box. Here we go. So, I'll tell you what, let's just split it, because I don't know what the fuck's in here. Ambrosia salad revives the dead in Sims 4.
Okay.
Staff of Hermes. Trismegistus. AC Odyssey.
Oh, right, okay, yep.
Up an atomizer. GTA Online.
Right.
Here's one for you. Steve can have this one. And Aletica, Minecraft.
Right, yep. Yeah, Steve's all over that shit.
Yeah, Steve can have that. Wabberjack from Skyrim. And a Mr. Handy from... How the fuck's there a Mr. Handy in from Fallout? And a Mr. Handy from Fallout.
Mr. Handy?
Yeah, the robot thing. With the saw and the...
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, it's a big chest then.
So, it is a big fucking chest. I think maybe you should take the ambrosia salad just to be on the safe side, just in case Wolverine gets eaten.
Yeah, just in case... Yeah, yeah, well, he's a last resort.
Well,
yeah, I want to point that out. Like, you know, the Wolverine...
I mean...
Wolverine burgers are a last resort, yeah. He's delicious, but, you know, that's not the point.
I mean, I feel like you've been, like, prepping your seasoning and stuff and, like, sizing him up for cuts.
You know, on cartoons, when a character's hungry and they look at another character and they turn into, like, a talking, like stuffed chicken, like, ready to go in the oven. Like, well, I'm looking at him and he's just like a big slab of steak.
But, you know, you could have just taken a cow.
No, because it's 100 days. How long's a cow going to last?
Oh, and he's got to regenerate.
Exactly.
You've got to regenerate. Okay, fair dues.
I thought this through, man.
All I'm going to say is that's weird.
True, yeah.
I'm tempted to just take the up and atomizer and give you everything else. And just be like, yeah, you take this.
Yeah, as long as Minecraft Steve's got his what was it?
Yeah, no, you can have that.
Yeah.
And you've got Lara Croft. She can have the staff of thingy because I feel like that's a good fit.
Oh
for
yeah,
her.
yeah, I guess.
And
yeah.
I'll take the Wabberjack. I'll give that to Quiet.
Right.
The Up and Atomizer. The Mr. Handy.
Yeah. Fair. I'm happy with that.
And yet, we don't even want fucking rescuing.
Yeah.
This is a great fucking scenario.
We've done well.
This one. We've decided we don't even fucking... Alright, we've come to... Oh, come on. Go away. We don't like it. Not how I expected that to go.
I thought it was an ingenious idea, I must say.
Moving on.
I think we've got today's episode name, haven't we? Wolverine sandwiches. Oh.
Fresh. Certified fresh. Right, moving on. Spooky music. Nasibo verse time. Blah, 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 blah. That's better. I've recently released a new Demon Dog Samurai called Iron Clouds Over a Bamboo Kingdom. It's just a little short. It's just a little fun idea I was working on for Ryu Aganawa, who is the Demon Dog Samurai. I am also currently working on another Torino Crew one that's going to be quite a big piece. And I'm looking forward for that to drop. It's going to be called Murder on Moontown.
Nice.
And there's the part 1 of The Giant Problem, which is a Nix short. So there's a few to check out at the moment. I'll put some links at the bottom. But yeah, they're all available on our Patreon to read for free, like and subscribe. And also, there may be some t-shirts floating around on there if you ever wanted to check them out. All cool designs designed by yours truly.
That is cool. I didn't know this.
We're expanding.
Yeah,
no, we've only done it in the last thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so there we go. Now, moving on to other story time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, have you got one prepared this week?
I have.
Yes. I've got a little bit for the news afterwards as well, which I'm looking forward to. Should be a nice little segment. It's silly, but I read the headline the other day and I can't not share it with you.
So, in 1944, there was a guy that was just running around and I think possibly this is one of the inspirations for some of the Batman villains and stuff, because I'd never heard of this guy, but he was called the Mad Gasser.
Okay.
And basically, in 1944, in a town called Mattoon, Illinois, this guy would just run around and basically let off this gas in people's homes. Nobody, as far as I could see, died.
Right.
They were just sort of left a bit sort of woozy, and a bit
gassed,
unconscious. Yeah.
Sorry, did you just say they were left a bit woozy and a bit unconscious? Oh, I love that.
Just a bit unconscious. Well, they didn't die.
That's brilliant.
Weirder shit was going on at the time. It could have been like a what's he called? Jack the Ripper kind of scenario.
Yeah.
He just knocked him out for a bit.
Left him a bit unconscious. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, left him a bit. But yeah, nobody ever caught him. And yeah, it went on for a couple of nights, where it was like separate houses that got affected by it. Although having reading it now, could have just been gas leak.
Oh, I love El's story time. You tell the best stories, man.
Coherent nonsense. But yeah, it's just...
Oh, I love that.
I just found
You're supposed to be a writer.
And I'm a writer, not a reader.
Oh, fucking hell, that's brilliant. Oh, I love that. So you just told me a story about an 80-year-old gas leak. Fuck.
Is King Charles 80 yet?
Oh, no, I don't think he is.
Well, that was
brilliant.
That brings us on to our highlights and hot topics.
Okay, so I've got a bit of news. Right, there was a headline. So there's a chap. He's a Japanese video game developer. His name's Hideki Kamiya. He's the brains behind the Bayonetta series, and he put a tweet out the other day, basically saying that the Bayonetta prequel that's coming out, I think it's like a DLC thing for Bayonetta 3, will solve Japan's low birth rate. And I'm like, wait, what? And so basically, I got it from Kotaku. They reported on a tweet that he made, and the tweet was basically 5 bullet points. And originally it was in Japanese, so it's been Google translated to English. But I'm reading it word for word what the translation says. So, point number 1 on this tweet says, number 1. It's like, so the game, what's the game called? Cereza and the Lost Demon. That's what the DLC is called. So number 1, play Cereza and the Lost Demon. Number 2, I want a child like Cereza. Number 3, an unprecedented marriage boom is coming. Number 4, the problem of declining birth rate will be solved. Number 5, everyone happy.
What?
So yeah, this dude, he thinks that this game is somehow going to solve Japan's declining birth rate, which is an old it's at lowest rate since 1899. So there is a problem over there.
So one of the
what the fuck?
Yeah. So there is one sort of simulator type that is very popular in maybe more than just Japan, but most commonly Japan, and it's dating simulators.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of Japanese games that follow the dating sim sort of concept. You've got Catherine, you've got the Doki Doki Literature Club. There's a recent one, but it's about you'd love this actually. Speaking on the how you're going to treat Wolverine. Basically,
I'm not a cannibal.
Play as a character. Yeah, you fucking. You sound welcome. To be fair, I have no right to judge because on a previous episode I was hiring Hannibal Lecter to do my pizza night, so.
yeah. You had him doing your catering, didn't you?
Yeah, so horses for horses. But either way, so yeah, it's like a weird dating sim, but you're trying to convince. They're trying to convince you not to eat them.
Oh, okay.
It's like a weird. I'd have to research it. It's some weird out there Japanese video game. It looks really fun, but it's a weird dating sim thing. But yeah, no. Is it going to have like a sex mini game like in GTA?
I doubt it. It's like a Devil May Cry style game, isn't it? Bayonetta. So I assume the DLC will follow the same sort of thing if you're playing as a different character, I guess.
I think she is considered like a bit of a like Bayonetta as a character is considered a bit of a sort of sex icon for video games.
Apparently, and like, I read up on this recently actually that because I thought because I've never really played the Bayonetta games, I always thought she was a little bit like over sexualized or what have you. But she was designed by a woman. So woman that designed it, you're like, well, okay.
I played the first one. It was pretty good. It was kind of fun if you like your sort of hack and slash. If you like your Devil May Cry kind of sort of games, then it's pretty fun. It's pretty different. You know, Bayonetta's a witch of some kind, and like her physical attacks, it's actually her hair.
Oh right.
That like comes to life and it like makes the form of a fist, and it's very visually pretty. There's a lot of like particle effects, and it's in some ways a little bit like Castlevania style, where you know there'll be missions that you've got to redo later because you'll unlock weapons that you can progress further into the mission than you could before. So very much like Devil May Cry, very much like Castlevania style game.
Did the first game get you wanting to impregnate anybody?
No, but there was one game, Goat Simulator. I'll edit this.
Please don't. Oh, perfect.
Oh no, I'll edit the bit where we were discussing. I'll just leave in Goat Simulator. I'll just cut to me and like, Goat Simulator.
Good shout. Cool. Well, that brings us on to our quiz then. Well, I say our quiz.
Oh no, I've got something that I'm going to convince you.
Go on.
So, recently I talked about how I'm actually kind of excited for Dead Island 2.
Yes.
So when the first game was launched or like announced and stuff, it looked great. Like the teaser trailer for it was amazing. Everything that they said about it sounded kind of cool. They were like, "Oh, it's going to be an open world sort of like holiday resort that you can explore.
Yeah.
And there's going to be like different zombie types. It's going to be harder at night, and basically a lot of it was what they carried over when they made Dying Light, which made it work really well. But in terms of the first one, it was pretty poor. Like it needed something more to it to like make it flow better. But I was reading on the new one that's coming out, and they've said that each mini boss is going to be like its own sort of B movie or like 80s horror movie.
Right.
Sort of like stage.
Yeah. Because it's in LA, so, like, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in LA. And it looks
it
stunning.
does look good.
Like, it really does look good. I'm just worried because the first time it wasn't.
Something I do want to check out with it is they have like really cool, like again, I'm just going to sound like a sicko, but an absolute sicko this episode, but like flesh tech. So say if you like,
does it look tasty?
Well, they say if you set them on fire, then like their skin will burn away first, revealing like the flesh, and then the muscle, and then eventually it'll go down to like cartilage and bone, and there's like acid and stuff that you can use, and all different effects. And apparently it's like, from what I've heard, because there's been some early gameplay reviews, that it plays better than people were expecting, because it's been in development for fucking donkeys, hasn't it? And it's swapped hands and stuff over the years as well, so it has every...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, there's a few different studios have been making it, and yeah, it's just, it has every right to be a complete dumpster fire, but it doesn't look like it. So yeah, intriguing. It's not one I'm going to jump at, but if I can see it cheap in the future, then yeah, I'll give it a go.
That's it. Like when it like drops in price, or it's like a really good deal, then maybe. But no, I just think it's a cool concept, and like that was one of the things that you'd said just then, was that since the last Dead Island, you've like it's been ages. Like I think Dead Island came out in like 2011.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Maybe earlier than that. And like since then, the Techland have released 2 Dying Lights, both of which they've been working on sort of in that time. And in the meantime, Dead Island has been in the works, so hopefully we'll see a lot of crossover between what made Dead Island, what made Dying Light good in terms of its combat, in terms of its feel, with maybe the same sort of tropic. Because one of the things I wasn't so keen in Dying Light with the actual city itself.
See, I didn't.
Like it was fun to explore.
I wasn't big on the first part of the city, like the sort of slums that you're in at the beginning. When you get to the old town, like later on, like that really took it a step up for me, because I was like, this feels like a proper city, and you rooftop to rooftop and stuff. Like, yeah, it really opened it up. Yeah.
But I'm excited for Dead Island.
Yeah, me too.
I think it might be one that surprises a few people. I am also looking forward to Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
End of next month.
Yep.
And there was another one that I did screenshot. We've talked about Dead Cells, the side-scrolly indie hack and slash.
Yeah, I think like a while back, but yeah, I've got it on Switch.
So they've announced the DLC, which they're doing, which is going to be a crossover of Dead Cells and Castlevania.
Right. Yep. They've done quite a lot of crossovers, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, I actually really liked it. Dead Cells. I thought it was really good. I've not played too much of it, but of the sort of roguelikes that I've played, the side-scrolly hack and slash kind of thing, I think that's probably one of the better ones. But I think it's more because of its like tongue-in-cheek style and references to other games and things like that. Like it just feels a bit more fun.
Yeah, some of them are quite bleak, aren't they? The side-on, roguelikes. 2D roguelikes. Like.
Well, I tried that Blasphemous, and I thought Blasphemous was quite good in terms of like it was quite easy to play. Yeah. But like it was all just very fleshy coloured. Which you've got me talking about flesh now, like you fucking animal wanting to eat Wolverine.
Not wanting to.
I'm just gonna
would if we needed
wanting to eat. No, that's not what I'm hearing. I'm gonna tell him not to come round. Like, Wolverine, don't get on the plane. It's not safe for you.
He's fine. He'll grow it back.
He's like, I am really excited for Wolverine. Is that going to drop this year, do you think?
Oh, Deadpool 3.
No, the Wolverine game. Oh, and
Oh,
that as well. Deadpool.
the Wolverine game. No, that won't drop this year. No, it's Spider-Man 2 this year.
Spider-Man 2 this year.
Well, they've not announced it, but that's the one that's coming out next from Insomniac. And then it'll be the Wolverine.
Like, I think I'm more excited for the Wolverine game.
What, than Spider-Man 2? I think I am, to be fair, because we've already had Spider-Man, haven't we? Like,
that's
it'd be cool if they make
we
it.
already had Spider-Man.
I think the only thing that could maybe top it is if they do make it co-op. If you can if I can jump into your game and drop in as Miles Morales, and we play together through a few missions, that would be cool as fuck.
Yeah, but then I also want somebody playing as Venom.
Well, yeah, maybe you get the choice. Yeah, maybe they make it 3-player. Imagine that if they hit us with that. Like, oh yeah, it's not just 2-player; it's 3-player. You got Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Venom. Like, yeah, buddy.
You could have like 2 players play as Spider-Man, and Sinister Six, 6 players as different enemies, trying to kick the fuck out of Spider-Man. You could just pick whichever Sinister Six you want. If you want to be J.K. Simmons, you be J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, he's not one of the Sinister Six.
No, not J.K. Simmons. J.K.
Simmons, he's J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson.
He's not one of the Sinister Six.
No, I know. It's one of the theories as to why there wasn't...
Yeah. I get it, but yeah.
But I think that could work. Because you can have, like, somebody play as Rhino and then, you know...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the villains, other than Venom, really lend themselves to the traversal. I think if you're Rhino and you're just running around the street, like, I don't know, I think you'd lose something. I don't think they'd do that anyway. I think more likely to be co-op and...
Just 2 Spider-Mans.
Either 2 Spider-Men, or maybe you get the choice of a Venom later on. Which I don't see them doing. I see Venom being the big bad. And
nah, because Venom's more of an anti-hero.
Yeah, but the other bad guy that they've put in it is Kraven the Hunter. So it's like, is he going to be the big bad? Because I just don't think he's... I don't think he's big enough.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, I think what they're going to do is they're going to take a bit of creative licensing with it. So I think they're going to introduce Venom, and I think Venom is going to be fundamentally the sort of main villain that you fight. And like the sort of, oh my god, we've got to take this guy down, like, oh, he's so violent. All the while, Kraven the Hunter, who may have appeared very early on in the game, you've taken down, and he's like, oh, I'll be seeing you later. He's observing, you know, Venom, and decides to think, oh, hang on a minute, I'm going to take some of that for myself, and then becomes a bigger bad through
Venom Kraven.
Proxy of Venom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's been done in the comics as well, actually, Venom Kraven. So
yeah,
possibly, yeah.
I think that's what they're going to do, because I think that way they could actually... Because that to me would feel like good pacing.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
As opposed to, you know, like doing it where Venom's the big bad. Because I don't think Venom is.
No, I'm with you on that. Really,
He's misunderstood.
I do want to be able to play as Venom and just eat someone. Oh, lots of cannibalism today. Weird one.
There is lots of cannibalism. Have you had your tea?
I am hungry. Yeah, I haven't had my tea yet. No. Oh, I wonder if we're on ribs.
I would ask. I was going to say, what are you having for tea, or is it better to ask who?
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Oh.
Right, quiz time.
Oh yeah, cool. Right.
Hit
so, same setup as last week. It's a character from they are from video games. But all I'm looking for is the character's name. Okay, I've got 5 clues.
Okay.
I can add some spice if you don't get it from the clues that I've got, but I think you will. So yeah, let's do it. So clue number 1. I've appeared in 30 plus video games. The The first of which was 1987.
Okay.
Any stabs in the dark? Any guesses you want to make?
Is it Batman?
It's not Batman. We did Batman last week. I'm not going to do.
I was
I'm not
going to
going to
say
do 2 weeks in a row. Come on, dude. So clue number 2.
He's not been mentioned yet. Oh wait, no, he did. He got mentioned. Go on.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, we haven't. I'll tell you who we haven't mentioned. We mentioned his game, not the man himself. Let's see if we can get through the episode without mentioning his name. So yeah, the next clue. I am the illegitimate son of a demon. Has that got any cogs turning?
It's been in over 30 games.
Yeah, many more than 30.
Since 1987.
Yes.
Son of a demon. Are they exclusively a video game character?
Well, the next clue is there was a live action adaptation of this film. Of this game. Well, of the franchise that the character is from. There was a film made, live action adaptation made in 1994.
Is it Mario?
No, it's not Mario. No. Not a bad guess though, really, because there was a live action Mario film, wasn't there?
In like 1994.
It must have been around there.
Fucking
yeah.
awful.
This film was also awful. Although moving on, the franchise I belong to spawned an entire video game genre. Or it could be argued that it spawned an entire genre.
Is it Spawn?
No.
Fuck!
And final clue, I'm a master in karate. I often sport white robes, red gloves, and a black belt.
Oh, is it Ryu?
Yeah, there you go. Ryu or Ryu.
From Street Fighter?
Yeah, it depends on your philosophical bend.
Oh, is he a demon?
He's the son of a demon, yeah, Akuma. Akuma's his dad. Apparently, I found that out today on Reddit. So unless someone is lying to me on Reddit...
So we both learnt something then, because I've never really... Well, I've played Street Fighter, but never really for the story.
I don't know anything about the lore of Street Fighter. Yeah.
Like, I know that M. Bison is like the big bad.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like, that's literally all I know about the game.
And there's Ryu and Ken.
So.
And that's about it.
And her with the pigtail.
Oh, Chun-Li. Chun-Li.
On her head.
Yeah.
Chun-Li. The new one looks the same.
Yeah, it's like they've updated the graphics and stuff like they always do, but yeah, it's not my cup of tea. But I thought he's quite iconic, and
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't realise that it started so early, and I didn't realise that the movie came out in 1994.
Yeah, with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, and Kylie Minogue.
Yes, yeah, for some reason.
And the guy from Addams Family.
Yes, the guy who played Lurch.
As M. Bison.
Not Lurch.
Not Lurch. The dad.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. There you got it. And apparently as well.
Finally, it took me a while.
If I was going to add some spice on, there was also an animated movie based on Street Fighter 2 that came out in the same year, 94. Which I've not seen.
Yeah.
That's got rave reviews. That's got like 7s and 8s on IMDb and stuff, whereas the live action one is getting like 3s.
So, glad you mentioned that actually, because there is a reason for that. The animated version was written by the developers of the game, or like people that worked on the game, and it was animated to like what they
like their standard
wanted. Yeah. Whereas the live action version was effectively the Americans going, we're going to make this because it's really successful and really popular. We're going to make it into a live action series or live action film. And they did the same thing with Warner Brothers, with Smash Bros.
Smash Brothers?
Like the
Mario Brothers.
Yeah, they made a Smash Brothers film. Mario Brothers film. Sorry.
I'd watch the shit out of a Smash Brothers film.
Like they did the same with the Mario Brothers film, and they did the same with the Mortal Kombat film. Although Mortal Kombat is the best of the three.
Yeah.
That came out around
very
that time.
low bar though. Very low bar.
Yeah, very low bar. Very low bar. But it was the best of the three.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the reason why, because the animated version was actually written by the or people who worked on the game, whereas the live action was just some monstrosity that Hollywood made up.
Yeah.
And that brings us to an end.
Yeah. End of an episode.
An end of another recording. It's been a interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and eat.
Meaty takes. Wolverine, if you're listening, don't get on a plane with Liam. It may not end well.
Oh, please do, because you pair lovely with some potato dauphinoise. So yeah.
I love the idea of you trying to cook dauphinoise potatoes on a desert island, whilst you've got Wolverine carving chunks out of his leg.
Yeah. Well, it might not be chunks. He might do it in like thin slices. You know, so we can just sear it and have.
I feel like that's worse.
Worse, but it might be tastier.
Just a little bit of lemon juice,
a little bit of
pepper,
a little bit.
Gazpacho, whatever it's called. But anyway,
yeah.
Before we cannibalise any further, thanks for listening. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.